Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
President Biden is currently deliberating over whether to issue any preemptive pardons. You well know that you are in the political crosshairs of Donald Trump. Do you want any kind of preemptive pardon from Joe Biden?
I've been very public about my point of view, which is that it would be the wrong precedent to set. I don't want to see each president hereafter on their way out the door giving a broad category of pardons to members of their administration.
Maybe not broad. What if it's sort of tailored for people like you? If he came to you and said, Senator, do you want one? What would you say?
Well, and here I'm just speaking for myself. Those of us that were on the January 6th committee who he has put in the crosshairs, we're all enormously proud of the work that we did. We stand by it. We feel we have the protection of the speech and debate clause. So my own feeling is let's just avoid this kind of broad precedent.
So you would say no?
Well, I'm urging that he not go down that road.
Good morning. You know, I've got my buffalo horn hat all ready to go. I'm ready to head to D.C. if I get the word. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've got a crap locked and loaded for Mike Johnson's desk. Come on, let's do this.
All right. I knew that you would go right to the poo jokes before I could get there. Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. No, I was because I know you're from New Orleans, and so and most people did assume that you would be out partying still at drunk on Hurricane Punch at 3:15 in the morning, but you were not.
I was there, but I was on the opposite side of the quarter. I was on Frenchmen Street, and because of how hard we hit it early, I was in bed by 3:15.
Okay.
It really was a shame. It really was, generally
me too.
I would feel ashamed by that. But
yeah, me too. But we mean in the afternoon. We're all in bed by 3.
Oh God,
yeah. But it was very strange. It was also strange when the fact that so many people immediately jumped to assume it was a MAGA.
Excuse me, so many people? Trump, right?
Well,
it was a
MAGA, and not an
right.
immigrant, a MAGA.
No, right. That's what I mean. But I mean, obviously it was based on a faulty Fox News report that this guy, it's all about. Oh, I told you, the media and Biden about the illegal immigration. He shoots his. This is what it's going to be like for 4 years, where he shoots his big mouth off before any information is in. It's based on a lie on Fox News, of course, right?
Yeah.
And
all policy will be made around the lies.
That's right.
Rather than reality.
Yeah. I mean, and this one, the other, what do you call it, in Las Vegas, Republicans against Trump said, remember all the MAGA conspiracy theories about the Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump Hotel? We've now learned Matthew Leivelsberger, is that his name, the driver of the Tesla Cybertruck, was an American citizen, a highly decorated Army vet who was a big supporter of Trump and Musk. He believed Democrats should be culled from Washington by violence if necessary, and hoped his own death would mark the start of a national rebirth of masculinity, led by Trump, Musk, and RFK Jr. I can't wait to find out MAGA's new conspiracy theory about the incident. I mean, it doesn't matter. The minute there's facts in, they just dare off to something else. You're right.
Yeah. And if have you read his whole couple of statements that he left?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a combination of Fox News talking points.
Thank you.
And a Steve Bannon monologue. It's exactly what they say on Twitter all the time.
Yeah. I mean, this is the story. I opened the show, Rude, saying that the mainstream media just is too, and now even more than ever, is more too scared to the two Trump assassination attempt. They're maggots. They're not Democrats. But this is what's going to happen. Once Trump's in, they're going to say everything. They're just going to lie and say everything is left-wing violence when here we are again, 90-something% of this is right-wing violence, right?
Yeah, and we get we get billionaires buying up media and gutting them, like what's happening at the Washington Post right now. What's happening at the LA Times?
Yeah.
We're getting it's going to be down to the New York Times and the occasional reporter at the Wall Street Journal that gets to do a real article.
Yeah. Well, this is our hero of democracy. stealing that from Bob Seska. Whoever gets the jingle first owns it. Okay. But what is her name, Ruth Ann Tanas? Am I saying that right? Tensas? God bless her. Washington Post editorial cartoonist who has been with the newspaper for 16 years, just quit her job after the cartoon below, which depicts Post owner Jeff Bezos and other CEOs bowing to Donald Trump, was spiked. And it's another huge blow to the credibility of the once great newspaper. I mean...
Yeah. And I love the editor saying, well, no, the reason why we did it wasn't the content. It's because we'd already talked about that. And I'm like, have you read a newspaper? You talk about the same things all the time.
Yeah.
When did repetition become a problem?
And so the Vegas guy, he left behind 2 messages critical of Democrats and American culture. He had sought mental health treatment for the Department of Veterans Affairs, was found not to have been homicidal or suicidal. I mean, part of the story, as Lawrence O'Donnell and everyone lost their shizzle, but he's right as usual, and again, whether I don't know whether it's how veterans are getting treated for, PTSD, but I mean, because obviously the other, which one? New Orleans guy, right? Like he was going to kill his family first. There is a through line in all of these. There is always a restraining order somewhere. There's misogyny and, extremism of some kind.
And untreated PTSD from having spent time in the military.
Yeah. But Lawrence O'Donnell, I love this. This is from a right-wing site. Everybody has sparked widespread criticism. He is always right. Can I just say that? Saying military veterans are a greater source of terrorism in the United States than illegal immigrants. That is provably true. He said the simple fact is this country has suffered more deadly terrorism at the hands of American-born citizens who are veterans of the United States military than people who have crossed into this country at the southern border. It is very clear the evidence that if you want to worry about terrorism is in this country, the U.S. Army is a much bigger problem than the southern border. And he went all the way back to Tim McVeigh, and he's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you could go back further than that. I mean, with assassins and other things, and the fact that that even in the first quarter after 1/4 of the 21st century we're now into, we still aren't doing enough to help our veterans with mental health. It's just ridiculous.
And Republicans always want to cut VA benefits.
Yeah.
I mean, we have got to figure out how to take back all these narratives. I mean, there's story after story about how great every single barometer is in this country right now economically. Otherwise, the border crossings at a 4-year low. I mean, it completely the opposite of what Trump was able to sell by disinformation to however many 77 million Americans, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, did you have...
No, getting back to veterans with PTSD, there are systemic issues with that too, because I was listening to the Vegas guy's ex-girlfriend talking this morning, and she said, you need to get help. You need to get some mental help. And he said, I can't, because then I'd lose my deployment.
Yeah, and also there's a macho thing. There's he talked about masculinity in there, but that's the other thing about veterans saying I'm going to look weak if I go ask for help.
Well, it's not just that; it's also an economic thing. He couldn't provide for himself if he lost his paycheck. If he went to go get mental help, that is the problem that we have.
I agree.
He called on fellow service members and anyone else who believed the country was on the wrong track to engage in a purge of the country's capital. As we sit here on January 6th, Rude, he said he specifically called on Democrats to be culled from Washington. Dear God. He said, try peaceful means first, but be prepared to fight to get the Dems out of the federal government and military by any means necessary. They must all go, and a hard reset must occur for our country to avoid collapse. He praised Trump, Kennedy, Musk, was critical of Biden, Harris, diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives. I mean, it just, like you said, it reads like Fox News, Steve Bannon transcript, you name it, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting that there's sympathy for him. And, yes, only a few people were injured in what he did versus what the New Orleans attacker did. Yeah. But they're both terrorists. Yeah. They're both committing violence for a political end.
Yeah. This was the other part. I'm just not going to read the whole manifesto. He said, thankfully, we rejected the DEI candidate. And we'll have a real president instead of Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh,
I mean... And this was all that,
You know,
and here's the thing, everybody's talking about the Washington Post reporting that President Biden feels like he would have won. And, here we go, right? We're still in the, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Like, what if I mean, first of all, you can understand he's the only one that beat Trump. He had an amazing record. So you can understand him feeling like, and maybe, but, to me, it still would have been a disinformation like that. The ageism would have gotten him like the misogyny, misogyny, racism got Harris. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, it would have been endless. And and imagine that your last words on Earth are like you're repeating a Don Jr. tweet.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That's your message to the world.
I mean, that's the thing, Rudin. At this point, like, we're never going to know. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, based on his, but then we go back and blame the media for why his approval ratings are so bad when every single barometer, every single indicator is that he has done a fantastic job and is handing Donald Trump, a great economy and on and on. So, I again, disinformation would have worked either way, I think. So I don't know, but like, I'm kind of go back to one last thing. Lawrence O'Donnell was always right. He was the one saying it is too late for Joe Biden to get out. So whoever we got there, whether you think he should have gotten out earlier, he shouldn't have run again at all, he said it's too late. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody historically. I mean, Kamala Harris just had too short a runway.
Well, I mean, I think Kamala Harris was consultanted to death.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
That the inspirational and the aspect of her campaign in the early part, that attack on the weirdness of Republicans, that faded. And they decided to go right wing with trying to appeal to this narrow swath of Republicans whose minds might be changed. That aside, that aside, I mean, the media would have been unrelenting on Biden, and it used to be that we would debate people from the same set of facts. Would debate. We'd say, okay, here are the crime statistics.
Thank you. We didn't lose on the economy. We lost on disinformation about the economy.
Right. We'd say, okay, here's what's going on with crime. How do we continue this good trend? And the right would say, oh, we need to hire more police. And the left would say, well, we need to do something about, what makes criminals. And we'd have that debate based on the actual information. And now we're sitting here going, no, here's the actual information. And they're saying, who cares? I feel like crime is high because I feel unsafe when I see an unhoused person.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly right. I'm still going to cry every day for the rest of. Did you see this? Senator Gallego's son talking to Kamala Harris.
Day, isn't it? It's a long day, I know, but you know what?
I'm sorry you did it.
Oh, you know what, sweetheart? But you know what? Don't you worry about it, because there's still so much work to do. So it's not that we can win. We're not defeated, right? You know what that word defeated means? Are we defeated? No, we're not defeated, right? That's right, baby. That's right.
Oh.
So sweet. I love her so much. She's magic with children, like Barack Obama is. But
I wish I felt that way. I just, as I wrote this week, I've abandoned hope.
No.
But I've abandoned.
Yeah, grumpy mother. And get back in the fight.
And we've linked to your piece at StephanieMiller.com.
But it's about hoping for something, something big to happen. Hoping that some magical thing, some Mueller, some Jack Smith, something.
We might still listen. He's still going to get sentenced unless justice gets,
I get it, but apparently
without lube again.
Apparently, being a felon now in Florida doesn't matter. You can still vote and become president.
I know. No, I know.
Who knew?
I'm just, at least the sentencing will go on record. A convicted felon will be going into the White House. You know what you did? You watched too many, like you wrote in your piece, like movies about suicidal snowmen, tortured ghosts, and pole-frozen tongues. Some things are a tradition around the Rude House. See, it's just, I did that too. I watched too much bad acting in Christmas movies, and now, yeah. You beloved reruns. You said are right that were good for your soul. Which was was your favorite?
What's my favorite? I like the Invader Zim Christmas. And I like all of the other reindeer,
I watched that as well. I love that.
My favorite tweet of the holidays was this Christmas Eve. Let's all take a moment here in Los Angeles to remember the survivors of Nakatomi Tower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you watch Violent Christmas?
It's a Die Hard joke, isn't it?
It is Die Hard joke. It's a Christmas movie.
And you know what we watched on Christmas Day? We watched Gremlins.
That's a Christmas movie.
That's also a Christmas movie.
The people I was with didn't said, no, that's not a Christmas movie, and I was like, oh no,
it's
pretty much a Christmas movie.
I should have stopped it. I should have stopped at Hot Frosty about the horny melting snowman. I don't know.
I watched Eyes Wide Shut, which is a Christmas movie.
Oh, that's
A Violent Christmas. That's excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, Long Kiss Goodnight. That's one of my other favorite.
I knew the
Christmas.
holiday was over when I paid for a movie I've already seen. I didn't realize I'd already seen it. I was like, oh, I just paid $3 for this.
What
New Year's Eve, the movie New Year's Eve.
There's a movie. New
I
Year's
tried.
Eve. Oh yeah, isn't that where everybody?
I tried the
likes
Maria Callas, Angelina Jolie movie because she's hot. But oh God,
Oh,
if I
I
want
heard
to
it
watch
was boring.
a suicidally depressed, boring, crazy woman, I'll just look in the mirror. What?
But can you sing like Maria?
No, I
could?
cannot.
See,
I can't even
difference.
sing.
Oh, I upset so many people by saying I thought Nosferatu was hilarious.
Oh boy.
I passed on that one too. My friends went. I was like, oh.
No, that's not your kind of movie stuff.
No.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
thought it was campy as hell.
Hey, Rude, get out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Oh,
We'll see you.
I'm being tossed?
You are.
Yeah, we're late. See
I
ya.
didn't even get to make a hot frosty semen joke. Oh,
Okay,
man.
you know what? See, and that's why. That's why. Goodbye. Get out. All right.
You see.
I'm here with the incredibly handsome Dr. David Silverman to talk about ASEA Renew that I'm holding in my hand. This stuff is amazing. Revitalizing Redox gel. You hold up, you have you can it comes in drink form, and this is the gel form. I love, first of all, that supermodel Carol Alt will be promoting this. She's taken so many jobs from me, so I am so happy.
Just to give some context, because I have to tell you that this is very unique. This is not, it's not a pharmaceutical, it's not a nutritional product. It's something that our cells make. It's called redox signaling molecules. But bottom line is, our cells make redox signaling molecules. Your body makes it right now, but we all made more of it when we were younger. What's in this bottle is in you. It's in me, right? But I'll be 64 in 2 weeks, and I feel like I'm 30 years old. I've been drinking this for 13 years.
Wow. Doc, what a thrill to meet you and to hear more about this, because, it's you just kind of go, oh, it works, but to hear about the why is fascinating to me. Dr. David Silverman, what a joy and a pleasure, and thank you so much.